What's up guys, my name is Liam, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Razer DeathAdder V4 Pro. And even though this does share the same shape as the DeathAdder V3 Pro, just about every other aspect of this mouse has received an upgrade. So in this video I'm going to be breaking down how my experience has been using it so far, what the changes from the V3 Pro are over to the V4 Pro, and hopefully by the end of this video I will be able to help you decide whether or not this could possibly be the perfect gaming mouse for you. So let's check it out. And before we get started today, I did want to let you know that this was sent out to me. However, everything you will be hearing in this video is going to be my own words and my own opinions. Included inside the box, this does come with a USB-C to USB Type-A cable, some documentation, stickers, and then it also does come with a set of grips. And if you've ever used Razer grips before, these feel the exact same as their previous ones did. Here's a look of the wireless receiver that does come included, and it has been upgraded. On the back, it does have the USB-C connectivity. Down here on the bottom, it is fully rubberized. And I do want to say that for the size of this dongle, this is one of the heaviest ones that I've ever got my hands on. And I actually like it that way because it's been sitting nice and planted on my desk. I haven't had any issues with it sliding around on me or anything like that. There are 3 LED indicators up here on the front. This is something that you can actually change in the software, and we'll go over that when we get to the software section. But right out of the box, it does have the connection status is the LED on the left, the battery level, which is the LED in the very middle, and then the right does show you what your polling rate is currently set to on the mouse. So when taking a look at the mouse itself, I'm going to go ahead and just pull in the Razer DeathAdder V3 Pro Faker Edition right next to it to give you guys just an idea on some of the changes that they made right here off of the bat. We will start out over here on the bottom. One of my favorite things that they did change about this mouse is clearly the skate design. I really appreciate how they put a bigger skate design down here on the bottom and on the top, and there's still plenty of real estate if you want to throw on dot skates or change them to your liking. But this does have similar feeling skates to what they've had on their previous mice. And then over here on the left hand side, you still have the button for the power, and it also changes your DPI. With the V3 Pro, if you were to press really hard on the sides, you can get some flex and even actuate the side buttons. That's how it was on my copy anyways. And even the coating on this was a little bit, I would say, more slippery just for my skin type. With this newer version, they do have an internal cage design structure similar to the V3 Pro, the Viper V3 Pro when I originally reviewed it. Excuse me. You don't get as much flex if you're to squeeze really aggressively on the side of this. And as a matter of fact, I get like no flex at all. It does not activate the side buttons or anything like that. On top of that, the coating is smooth to the touch, but it definitely feels like a big upgrade in my opinion. Going back and forth and comparing both of these, this just feels so much more grippy for me. For mouse 1 and 2, this is using their brand new Razer Optical Gen 4 switches in them. They are 12% lighter than the previous Gen 3 switches, and you definitely do notice a bit of a difference there. Now, as you're clicking on these, they do still have that pingy sound to them. However, you do notice a difference with them being lighter. And not only do they just feel lighter to me, but they feel like they're snappier and have a faster rebound. And truly the click implementation on these buttons, I mean, it's always been pretty good even on the previous version, but you even get a pretty lightweight clicking all the way up here at the top. You don't get a whole lot of additional play up here at the top. I just feel like you get a little bit more consistency with this mouse on how it's designed. Even the left to right here, really solid. So they've done a fantastic job over here on mouse 1 and 2. Another big upgrade that I know a lot of people have been looking forward to is the scroll wheel. I've seen people mention with the older scroll wheel how you'd get sometimes a reverse scroll, just an accidental scroll or something like that if you were to use this for jump. This now is using their new optical scroll wheel. And aside from it being optical, it does have a little bit more tensioning to it. And I do feel like these steps are just a little bit more defined. So truly everything about the experience of the scroll wheel, I've just been enjoying it even more. I do feel like it feels much better than the previous version. But even the center scroll click, easy to spam. So even though the input is more consistent on this, even just the physical feeling of the scroll wheel does feel like a noticeable improvement over the previous version. And then finally, when it does come to the side buttons, they also did redesign them just a little bit there. As you can see, they did put more of a gap there in the middle, so it's easier to tell the front side button apart from the rear side button. But truly just everything about the feeling of these side buttons, even if you were to click all the way back here from the rear, I get like no pre-travel. It goes straight into a click. once you do click it in, you get no major noticeable post travel and not even any type of teetering left or right. So honestly, these are some of the best feeling side buttons that I've ever used, and they feel pretty much near spot on perfect. So it's very clear to me that they put a lot of effort and attention to detail just in the overall feeling of this mouse compared to the previous version. So let's go ahead, we will drop a sound test comparison, and I will do a comparison between this and then the V3 Pro as well. And another thing that they were also able to improve is they were able to get the weight down on this a little bit more. Since I have my scale out, I'll go ahead and throw the dongle on here really quick just to show you what I'm talking about. The dongle itself weighs 44.8 grams, but everything about the balance on this has felt spot on, not only front to back, but left to right as well. Dropping it on my scale, looks like we got it coming in at approximately 55.9 grams, whereas the previous version, even though I do have these smaller grips on there, just to show you really quick, coming in around 62 grams on that one. Here's a really quick overview of the Synapse software, something I'm sure that probably a lot of people out there are already familiar with. When using this mouse, I actually did have to uninstall my older version and reinstall this new version even after doing updates. But here on the first page is where you can make adjustments to the button. If you scroll down here, this is where you can make adjustments to the LED indicators on the new receiver. Like I mentioned earlier, you can even turn them off. Next up over here on the performance tab is where it does allow you to make adjustments to your DPI and your polling rate. They also do have this in-game polling rate sensor. This is where it will switch your polling rate when you're not gaming on the mouse to help save the battery life. They also do have this sensitivity matching option down here. If you were to come from a different mouse previously, once you do start the simulation, you can put them next to each other to evenly match the DPI on both of your mice. Next tab is where you do have your power saving options. After that, you do have a calibration option for the liftoff distance. And then next up over here on the final advanced tab is where you do have this option for a dynamic sensitivity and even this rotation option to adjust the rotation angle to make sure you're getting straight horizontal movements. Even everything about the performance on this mouse has got an upgrade compared to the previous version. Starting out with the sensor, the previous used a Focus Pro 35K sensor, where this one now has a Focus Pro 45K sensor. For the improved performance, I did try testing this out on my XLAT, and unfortunately I was not able to get any consistent numbers. I am, however, going to show you guys what Razer's claims are, and this is even using their brand new Hyperspeed Wireless Gen 2 technology, where it's engineered to be 63% more power efficient and deliver 37% lower latency than the previous generation. This new technology has dramatically improved battery life. With the DeathAdder V4 Pro, it was estimated at 1000 Hz polling rate that you'd get a 90-hour battery life, and at an 8000 Hz polling rate up to 17 hours. With the V4 Pro, it's estimated to get up to 150 hours at 8000 Hz polling rate, or up to 22 hours at 8000 Hz. All right, guys, so that about wraps things up on the Razer DeathAdder V4 Pro. And truly, I am very impressed with what Razer has done here. I mean, I've already felt like the DeathAdder V3 Pro was such a great mouse, but this is a true example that they really did listen to the feedback that just everyone in the community gave them about the previous mouse. And it's pretty rare that a new mouse comes out that just has just about every aspect of the mouse on it has been upgraded, at least to the level that this one has. I do kind of prefer smaller mice. This is a bit of a bigger shape. If you've never used the DeathAdder V3 Pro before in the past, this is larger than something like the Zowie EC2, and I kind of prefer more medium to smaller size mice personally, so I kind of do wish that they would come out with a smaller version of this. They already do have the DeathAdder V3 Hyperspeed, which is pretty much a smaller version of this, and that size is much more in line with something that is a little bit more comfortable for my hand size and I do prefer to game on. But truly, they've done such a fantastic job at every aspect of the design of this mouse that I really do feel like this is going to be the new king of ergos moving forward, as long as, again, the size and the shape is going to be something that works out for you. All right, guys, so if you have any additional questions or feel like I left anything out, please let me know in the comments down below. If you have enjoyed watching this video and are interested in seeing more videos like this in the future, please drop this video a like and subscribe to my channel. And thank you guys so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.